So finally, before I've recovered from my trip down to the convention, is this. I'm purposefully not saying it. To be honest, there's enough clues there. The best thing about this game, though, is the manual. No, because, one, it's a hefty wad, and two, unlike most manuals, where it tells you what it is, that is the cover for the manual. It doesn't tell you what it is. The box art tells you, but... And just the whole details in it and everything. The fact that everything is hand-drawn in this. Even the bits when it shows you the... Hang on. I'm trying to show something where it shows you the game screen where it doesn't mention the name of the game. Let's have a look. There we go. That's probably the best. So, like the game screens, like, if I can get it in frame, they're all hand-drawn themselves. They are actually nothing to do and look nothing like, or certainly are cartoonish versions of the actual menus in the game. And just, it's one of the most colourful and most beautiful manuals that I've ever seen. Some of you might know what it is. The disc probably gave a big clue. But it's wacky Japanese stuff. But it was so wacky, it got enough of a following, but it got an official Western release. And not even published by somebody else. Although it is, apparently. I completely forgot about that. That's surprising as well. So, it's time to admit that we love Katamari. Apparently it's trademarked. So, what you can't see there is you got the little prints below the label. And yeah, this is one of the most expensive games that I've got pre-owned because it is that blooming good. Oh my word. I looked at the back because I knew Namco produced this in Japan, but it didn't get released over here. The most surprising thing caught my attention. This game we can thank EA for because they published it. Let's give the backstory. So, 2005, I think it was? 2004, possibly? No, 2004. A little game that came out in Japan called Katamari Damacy. And basically, what this was about was this. Or this. Or this. Or, well, pretty much anything. But what I'm trying to say is rubbish. The whole idea is the game's designer, Kaito Takahashi, wanted to create a game where it was all about taking all these things around the world, whether they be junk or not, because over the course of the game it does get bigger and better. You know, let's just say the final level has you picking up, well, the final level has you picking up landmarks like the Eiffel Tower and the Empire State Building and things like that. The final level has you picking up countries of the world, and then the other final level, well, no, because that isn't that, but yeah, it has you picking up countries of the world on the Earth. The whole idea is clumping it all into a ball so it can be sent into a space, either as a planet or a shooting star or stardust or whatever. And this got so much attention from the Western world that the sequel, We Love Katamari, came out. So, yeah, the original plot was basically the king accidentally destroys everything in the universe, and it's up to the prince to roll and make all these things in order to restore the universe to how it once was, the stars and the planets and everything. This second game is the best sort of sequel that you could have. The king of the cosmos realizes that Katamari Damacy was very popular. And so, in this game, rather than the king ordering the prince to do stuff, basically fans across this animated world, which I'm guessing is supposed to be Japan or whatever, I don't know, are wanting the king to answer their calls, saying, "Oh, you know, I'd love it if you did this goal, you know, picking up animals and whatever at the zoo." And there's various goals. It's either you've got to get as big as you can within a certain time limit, or reach a certain size, or one of the hardest ones is keep the Katamari. You have to pick up log fires, but you have to keep the Katamari aflame as it gets bigger, otherwise you fail the level. And it really is, and the mastery of it is it uses both the sticks. Your left stick controls your direction in terms of where you're pushing it, but your right stick controls where your player is. So you can roll forward with the left analog stick, but in order to make some really tight turns that you need to master the right control stick to get the camera to go in the right way and all that. And just, it is one of the most beautiful games that probably came out on the PS2. Okay, there's other really good ones like Snake Eater and Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, but again, the thing is, they're Japanese. It just is, they can do some blooming good design. Just, just in case you're wondering, God of War 2 is very beautiful as well, but it's just got that sort of anime, the artistic style that really I just love, and clearly quite a lot of people loved, because following on from this, when it came out in 2000, well, it came out in Europe in 2006, but I think it came out 2005 in North America. But came out September the 20th, 2005. So we're nearly, wow, this game is nearly 10 years old. You see, you wouldn't know that because the success of the series that has developed from it. You had Me and My Katamari, which came out for the PlayStation Portable. Beautiful Katamari, which was the Xbox 360 port. The PSP one was sort of clever because it was based on helping animals on an island that had been devastated by a tsunami. And this was sort of, as it turned out, in or around the time that I think the tsunami happened in Indonesia. On the Boxing Day tsunami, and it sort of, I think that didn't get much for a Western release. Beautiful Katamari certainly did on the 360. That was the whole idea of Katamaris being used to close up a black hole created while the king was playing tennis. It goes wacky like that, but it's a Japanese game, what do you expect? Katamari Forever, which was the last major sort of one, which came out 5 years ago for the PS3. And that was actually sort of levels across all the games in the series, with the king trying to recover from amnesia and also repairing the damage done by a robo-king. And yeah, it developed more and more. There was a DSiWare one, Touch My Katamari, which was a launch title for the Vita, which really actually pretty did good as well, to be honest. Using the touchpad to be able to change it into a different shape in order to get smaller objects or get through small gaps and things like that. There's been iPhone and Android and Windows Phone versions as well, but in essence this was really I think the one that got them, as much as Katamari Damacy got the attention from everybody. Okay, it did get released in North America, but us here in Europe either had to have a console or a region locker to play the game, or have a USPS 2, until at least this came out. This was the game that was for years and years and years was on my list of I have to get this, and I was just waiting for the right time, for the right price, for the right moment. It came, no real idea of date, but I at least think it's like 2 or 3 years, and I was not disappointed. It sort of is just, the music as well is so good. Okay, mainly because it is sort of J-pop stuff, and there is sort of electronic video game sort of style music, and you've got some jazz weird stuff and some sort of samba upbeat stuff, but just really, it's really impressive, and the fact that it's had sequels for years is really good. And the reason why I bring it up is because certainly 2 games that I'd say are very similar to this in terms of things that seemingly make no sense would be Nobby Nobby Boy, which I think came out for the PlayStation 3. It's from the same guy, really. And then Ho-Hokum, which only just came out for the PlayStation 4, and that is really good. He didn't actually work on it, and oh wow, I didn't know this because I'm just looking at it now. There was a game that I played back at I think it was at Rezzed convention a couple of, it was at Res 2012, and then I played it also again at Eurogamer Expo 2012 as well, and it was a wacky game called Tenya Wanya Teens. It was only sort of I think like a pilot version, because it never really properly came out, really, but it was shown there as sort of an indie game that people would like and everything, and oh my word, it's fun. It was basically taking an arcade setup with a joystick and just doing stuff, and it was competitive between 2 people, who could fart in the face of the skunk and things like that. Don't get me wrong, wacky as all hell, but yeah. So, and the fact is, it looks like he might be working on other stuff and just seeing what it is. He's apparently working, his new game that he's working on is in a company with Robin Hunicke, who previously worked on Boom Blocks and then produced Journey. And just, oh my word. I am just, this game, man, this game. Why has that guy got a big forehead? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm guessing that means normal service will be resumed next week, where I'll talk about some gaming topic. I've got an idea of a few that I might want to talk about, but I'll delay that till next week. Hint, hint. or the delay will happen and stop of recording. This is the most ironic thing that's happened at the end of a video.